Hi, everybody. I'm Joanna Intarazim from yoursacredtransformation.com, and today is day 318 out of 366 days to transform all fears back into love through love and beyond. And we've been in the midst of a deep series on vulnerability and looking at all the fears that come up when we feel vulnerable. And I, for one, have been feeling really vulnerable just doing these posts because they're so exposing. And I've had a lot of you write to me and share with me great ideas for further topics in this series, which I'm really excited and happy to be doing because it's so deep. And also just want to say how sacred all this is. Again, this is the series, Your Vulnerability is literally the gold mine of your happiness. And even just to revise that title a little bit, it's not even just the gold mine of your happiness, it's like literally the gold mine. I can't tell you that when I see clients, whether it's men or women or couples, or when I'm facilitating a group, when people drop into their deepest vulnerabilities, amazing things happen. There's dissolution of all kinds of conflicts and challenges and obstacles and dynamics. It's such a valuable, rich experience. And so I just want to keep encouraging you to go after those vulnerable experiences instead of letting them hunt you down. Today is day 318, and the vulnerability that I wanted to look at today and tomorrow is the vulnerability of staying true to yourself or staying true to oneself. This is a really deep one for pretty much every client that I come across who enters my practice. Somewhere along the line, I think most of us got the message that to stay true to ourselves would be risky, that there would be some kind of danger, and unless you're the exception of maybe like, I don't know, the 5% of humans, if it's that high, who had secure attachment and or a super duper healthy childhood, being true to yourself is an area that is fraught with deep vulnerability and challenge for many people, especially women, because we're so conditioned to not put ourselves first and to think of other people ahead of us, and to even, not really say what's really true or real for the fear of being rejected or abandoned or told we're crazy. And certainly men can experience this as well. So if you are a person who has and is currently dealing with the fear of being vulnerable when it comes to really staying true to yourself, this is definitely the post for you. If you struggle with any kind of difficult body sensations that come up for you when you are attempting to be true to yourself, this is also the video blog for you. If you're wanting to learn to be more comfortable in just being totally authentic to yourself and have that feel like an amazing experience, this is the blog for you. So today what I want to focus on is identifying the specific places that you have inside of you that you are challenged with or feel vulnerable with in terms of being true to yourself. Of course, for most of us, this usually comes up in personal relationships, partnerships, marriages, relationships with children, parents, especially friends also. Those seem to be the main areas. And also, being true to yourself as well is definitely another one of those areas. And so I just wanted to invite you to take a moment and to let yourself connect with one of those places. Like maybe there's a truth that you would like to take up more space in the relationship, but that's an area of vulnerability for you. So instead of actually taking up more space, you kind of get wavery, that's a word, kind of like wavy in the relationship, and that creates its own dynamics. So I want you to bring that up for just a moment. I'm bringing up one of mine. which is to let myself be more of an extrovert. I'm kind of a recovering introvert. I'm telling you a little secret. And I want to invite you to just notice the body sensations that come up with that. Like for me, for example, I get a little bit of a tight stomach. There's a little bit of a fluttering energy in my chest that's kind of like, don't go, maybe go, don't go, maybe go. And what I want to invite you to do is just let yourself get intimate in this moment and maybe even just familiar with what that feels like, to experience that vulnerability, to kind of just let yourself know how it lives in you besides it being a voice in your head. I'm just going to give you about 5-10 seconds, maybe some moments here to just feel into that. And just to also, as you notice, I'm breathing, allowing yourself to start breathing is a wonderful tool to help expand sort of like the living space of that vulnerability, because so often when we feel vulnerable, we contract, right? We contract, we get smaller, or we get more anxiety, or we can collapse and kind of become more depressed. And so just right now, the act of identifying it, right? What is the story? Giving yourself some space, which we normally don't do, to get into that zone. And then identifying the sensations helps bring awareness to it. And then just starting to give some breath to this. Like just give some breath to this more consciously than you normally do. And what you'll notice, I'm noticing, is like, okay, I feel like there's more psychic real estate, if you will, or like a somatic real estate. Is this word real estate of like how much area is there in there when we just give ourselves the room to actually be more present with it. So I want to invite you to practice this today and to let yourself just see. You don't have to share it in the comment section below, though whatever discoveries you have would be amazing to share. But just to let yourself see what actually happens for you when you have that space. Okay? And then tomorrow we'll work with it a little bit farther and see where we want to go with that. I'll also respond to your comments. Some of you send me private messages because it's more private. And I'd love to know what you discover in this. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to connecting with you tomorrow. Take care. Good night.